I'm Alex A. from the John LeBon series, and you're listening to True North Country Comics Podcast.
Welcome to the True North Country Comics Podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book creators and supporters. It's April 19th, 2021. I'm John Swinimer. If you want to drop me a line, you can contact me at john@truenorthcountrycomics.com. On this episode, I chat with Alex A. about his John LeBon series. This podcast is available on Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts. And it's also available on the True North Country Comics channel on YouTube. I invite you to like and subscribe. Alex is based in Montreal and as a prolific cartoonist has 3 series and more than 10 comic books to his name. The John LeBon character, created from his childhood, is described as an anti-hero with colorful sidekicks living in outrageous situations. This year marks the 10th anniversary of L'Agent Jaune, featuring the secret agent's adventures. The popular book is a big hit and is adored by young readers in Quebec, France, Switzerland, and Belgium. The series is also published in English Canada as Super Agent Jean LeBon. The book has spawned an animated TV series now celebrating its 3rd season on cbckids.ca. And, to prove he's not slowing down, Alex just published his 2nd English-language comic book titled Super Agent Jean LeBon Season 2, Volume 2, Nano Dimension, from Adventure Press, aimed at 8 and up readers. The book is described as the first continent is in danger. The newly elected President Tiberius has come up with a plan to steal the most powerful and dangerous technologies from the agency. As for Super Agent Jean LeBon, he's been the victim of an accident in Henry's lab and finds himself shrunk to molecular scale. By chance, he makes friends with a species of nanorobots who live within the walls of Building A. Together, they will try to foil the president's plans. And so, without further ado, here's my chat with Alex A. about his Jean LeBon series. So, Alex, thank you very much for taking time to chat with me.
Hey, no problem.
I appreciate your time. What I normally do to start off the conversation is ask the creator about their first comic book. So I'm wondering if you remember, what was the first comic book that you read?
I don't remember the very first, but the first one that really get into me was a French book called Les Aventures de Célestin. It was the adventure of Celestin. It was an adventure of an astronaut. It was a funny cartoon book with a lot of jokes and science fiction adventure. And I think I was in 3rd grade, 8 years old, and it was the first time that I saw this, and I thought, I think I can do this. I think I will be able to do this. So that was the first comic that really inspired me to do it myself.
Was it at the local store, general store, or at the library?
No, it was at school. It was in my class. It was the only comic that exists in my class. We have a only novel at the time because comic was not really, I could say this, it was not viewed as a good book for children, so there was not a lot of them.
Yeah, I know it certainly changed today where comic books are actually part of the curriculum, but I understand completely. Back in the day, it was like, hey, put that thing away and let's get to serious literature. I understand.
And it was the only book that really interested me,
Very good.
It was a problem.
Well, speaking of interest, I'm wondering who influences your work today? Who are you reading now?
It's strange because my inspiration don't come very much. I read comic book right now, and I read different things, but a lot of my inspiration comes from video games. So or come from television or cartoon, animated show, or cinema. I love every visual art that exists, everything that you find visual and characters and different stories. So so comic and books are part of my inspiration, but it's not the main inspiration. I don't really get inspired by creator more than creations. So one of the 3 main things that inspired me in my career is superhero comic books that I'm a fan of Batman and Superman, all of DC Comics, more than
Right.
Marvel, since the age of like 4 or 5. So that the world of Nintendo, so everything Super
Mm-hmm.
Mario and Legend of Zelda, and all of this, and The Simpsons, and
Oh, okay.
yeah, the animated comedy of the United States really inspired me when I was like a teenager. So yeah, that's the main three things.
Very good. And The Simpsons continue to today, which is amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm as old as The Simpson.
No,
At the same
nothing.
age. That's weird.
There you go. Go figure. Well, we're here to talk about your latest book in
Mhm.
the series that you have for Super Agent John LeBon. And I'm wondering
Yeah.
if you could talk a bit about the book, and maybe for those not familiar with the character, how would you describe it to somebody?
The character of John is kind of a mix between James Bond and SpongeBob. That's a simple way to put it. And it's a big children that is the best secret agent in the world. It's like a 9 years old children who have a big talent to big. He have the same talent of James Bond, but have the mental age of a 9 years old. So he always have fun in what he's doing. He don't really see the danger of his job, or he see it, but he don't care. He always like to have fun. He like a children who just play instead of just doing a job. So yeah, that's pretty much the character.
Yeah, it's certainly a lot of fun, that's for sure. And
Mm.
maybe you could talk a bit about the newest entry you have for him.
Yeah, so the last book was Nano Dimension, which is the volume 2 of the season 2, because as I said, I'm a big fan of a TV show, so I decided to put my books like it was a TV show. So I have a season 2. And that story, John kind of encounter a strange race of nanorobots, microscopic little robots that live into the wall of the agency where you work. And he go there by accident, and he makes friend with a gang of little robots who got rejected by the society. So because in that society, of these little robots, it's like, do you know a little bit about Star Trek?
Oh, a little bit. I grew up on Star Trek, absolutely.
Okay. Because I'm a big fan, I'm a Trekkies since
Yes.
I'm young, and I got really inspired by the Borg, a race
Oh, mm-hmm.
of robots in the Star Trek universe. So it's kind of like that. He's kind of encounter a race of microscopic little Borgs, becomes friend with this little outsider of that society, and he just learned them how to be happy and have to have fun with their reject style of living. So that's pretty
Oh,
much it.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely an adventure. I've read the book and it's very entertaining, and I think
Oh,
it,
thank
it
you.
would definitely appeal to the younger generation for sure. There's lots going on in that book, and certainly the nanotechnology would be a very big interest for young readers for sure.
Mhm.
Maybe we could switch gears a bit, and I know you touched on this before, but maybe you could talk about how you got started and what inspired you to start drawing and writing.
I always draw, actually. I don't remember the first time that I draw. I think it was somewhere like 2 or 3 years old. I really don't remember. So it was always a part of me. When I was 5 years old, I just had fun drawing everything that I see everywhere. So, and I was a big fan of, as I said, superhero and Nintendo, Super Mario. So it was just natural for me to just draw every characters that I see everywhere. And at the age of 9, I just decided to try to do a comic just for fun, because I knew how to draw other characters, but I want to try to just create my character, and be able to do whatever I want with him. So I just tried this, and it was a revelation. Actually, I was 8 or 9 years old. It was a Saturday afternoon, and I just decided to make a comic book to try to do one, and I just began improvise a story, and it becomes a 70-page book.
Oh my!
Yeah, and this I
Wow.
drew like in 24 hours, and it was like, wow, that's very, very fun. And I think
Hmm.
I found something here that is really fun to me. So I think at the time I was, it was my goal to be able to live with my art one day.
Hmm.
I really want to become a comic book artist at this age.
Wow, that's very inspiring. That's for sure. And not only have you had success in comic book writing, but now I understand your work has been turned into a CBC kids TV show. Wondering if you could talk a little bit about that experience.
Oh yeah, but it was a kind of a dream since my teenage year to have a cartoon TV show, like The Simpsons. But yeah, but it was very hard actually, because when I do a book, I'm alone and I'm totally free and I can write whatever I want, and the stories can be as long as I want. So I'm really, really free when I do a book. But when you do a TV show, now you have to work with a lot of people, and you have to work with the diffuser and the studios that will work on your character, other artists too. So the first time I saw my character drawing by someone else was a shock for me. It was oh, it was so weird. But yeah, I had to learn how to work with other people and how to explain my world, because I'm a very intuitive guy when I work. Now I had to kind of construct my thinking, try to be able to tell to other people what is my universe, what is my story, who are my character, instead of just feel it. So it was a lot of learning, but at the end I'm very, very happy with the result, and the people with I work on this are wonderful. They really respect me and my vision. So yeah, it's a great experience.
Well, that's wonderful. Yeah, and congratulations on that, because it's
thank you.
A good thing for sure. Now, this is also something new for you too. I know that you've made it big in the French-speaking market, but now you're going after the English-Canadian market. I'm wondering, was that always your goal?
Yeah, but my goal was always kind of the world. I never really restrained me to just Quebec or Canada. So yeah, I'm very ambitious, and wherever I can go, I want to go. So yeah.
That's good. That's good. Now, I know I've talked to other creators, and there's certainly been a change. We mentioned it briefly before, how early in school days when we were growing up, comics were not great literature, but now things are changing. I see a lot more graphic novels being read by younger kids, and I'm wondering, what's your take on this about kids and teens moving away from video games and other things, and perhaps taking up books instead?
I think that comic books maybe just have more things that speak to these children. Like, I can talk about my books. I think I take the code of everything that children consume as art. As I said, I got a lot of inspiration from video games and cinema and television show. So I just take everything that children love in this kind of thing and put it into a book. So that's why they're very interested in reading this. It speaks to them, and it's really not something that is hard for me to do, because I'm a big children myself, and it's easy for me to speak to young boys, and we like the same things. We accept more easily what children's like today, I think so. Yeah, maybe. As I said, when I was young, I was very much interested into comic book, but there was none in school. So maybe we lack some respect of children at the time. What they were liking, we're like, no, that's bad. That's not real art or real literature. And now we just accept. Okay, you like that? So fine. I will give you something that is in line with what you love, and maybe you will try to love this and go farther after. So
sure. Yeah. I think maybe that is some sort of indication about us in the Western society versus what might be accepted in Europe or perhaps the Eastern world, where manga is read by everybody. So it's taken a while, I think, for us to get to that point, but we're getting there.
Yeah, here I think comic books was always associated with children and something a little bit futile. But yeah, that I think that the children that read comic books when I was younger just get hold, and they know that there's something interesting there. So.
Right. Well, I want to switch gears a wee bit and talk a bit about how you create your art. Can you talk about the tools you use to create your comic books?
I'm a geek, so I'm a computer guy. So I do pretty much everything on a computer. I use a graphic tablet I use a Cintiq 27 Pro and a mobile studio to go travel when I travel. So yeah, and I used the program called Clip Studio Paint. Before that, I was only on Photoshop, but Photoshop right now, I think it's lost a lot of its charm because it's way too much expensive for what it do. So Clip Studio Paint is like a Photoshop, but for the drawer, so for comic artists. So that's wonderful to use. So yeah, that's my tool, a PC too. I'm not a Mac guy.
Okay. Very good.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, I know that you've been very busy here. You've got a new book, a TV show. What can you talk about? What's next for you? Do you have any future projects that you can talk about right now?
I have way too much project. I have other books. I'm working in French. I have 3 different series. In English, we only have John Le Bon, but in French, I have 3. So I work on this. I work right now on the next John Le Bon volume, and it's the 10th anniversary this year. So it's been 10 years since I started the series. So that's a big special book to celebrate that. For the future, I want to try other series and other character. I have many, many more ideas other than John. And I would like to try other medium too. So I really want to make a video game someday. So I'm starting to go into that to see how I can do this. And yeah, so I have a lot of things to do in the next years.
Yeah, sounds like you'll be busy, that's for sure. So
Yeah.
Where can people find more about what your future and current work is online on your social media?
I have a website in French and in English. It's AlexBD or alexcomics.com. And you can find me on Facebook too. I have a page in French and in English too. And I have a YouTube channel called AlexBD too, AlexBD. So the videos are in French, but I'm drawing a lot of things there. So I think it can be interesting even if you don't understand. So yeah, just Google me. I have a lot of things.
Thanks to Alex for the chat. You can discover more about Alex online at alex-comics.com and alexbd.com. Alex has his own YouTube channel found at youtube.com/alexbd. Super Agent Jean Le Bon airs on CBC Kids and is available to watch on the free CBC Gem streaming service. Alex's new English language book titled Nano Dimension and his other books are available at bookstores, including Amazon. And thanks to you for listening to the True North Country Comics podcast. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to and like this podcast on Apple Podcasts. And please leave a good rating. Also check out the TrueNorthCountryComics.com website and follow along on Twitter at True North Comics. True North Country Comics is now on YouTube. Please like and subscribe to that video channel. Please send your feedback to John at TrueNorthCountryComics.com. Thanks again for listening, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now. True North Country Comics Podcast is copyright True North Country Comics, copyright 2021.